shiny. More shinies. Not a Brimstone. Ooh. Yeah. We got the shiny Xurkitree. And you probably know that if you've seen my, most recent team video. So if you haven't seen my 5-team video that I just released, definitely check it out. Season 20 is going to be pretty wild, I'm going to be honest. And this video is to, preview what we're going to be seeing in Season 20 with my teams, because we are still playing in Season 19, but we are using some crazy teams like this Xurkitree team that I created, especially not just because I wanted to use Xurkitree, but because I actually got the shiny Xurkitree. So after we look at this Xurkitree, I am going to show you some of the other shinies I've gotten recently, shortened into a quick digestible segment. That was digestible, right? Shiny Cradily, definitely hype. Shiny Maywile, I didn't have that one either. And I'm looking forward to using those. So let's talk about this team. I really like this team, honestly. It's maybe my favorite team that I created for this month. And with that said, let's talk about it for a sec. So first thing to notice is that we've got Weakness Policy Rotom on this team. Weakness Policy Rotom can be activated by Dragapult and Urshifu, and Rotom is also a good switch-in for Xurkitree if you're worried about taking a max ground move. So it's got playability, but it's also a very serious offensive threat with the ability to be paired with Whimsicott and Fake Tears, which is, definitely going to be picking up some knockouts if you get all that rolling. We do not have Focus Sash on Whimsicott, and I think that's something to think about because it just feels like I could use it sometimes, and I would say that Urshifu gets one shot less than Whimsicott does, but I do definitely want Protect on Urshifu still, so I don't think I would go with AB Urshifu, but maybe I could do something like run Mystic Water or like Muscle Band or something. So I don't know, maybe it's something to think about, and maybe I'll try out that variant and see if it's any better. But so we do have Fake Tears Whimsicott, which is able to support Xurkitree, Rotom, and Porygon 2 if we use them as our offensive Dynamaxes. And we also have Tailwind Whimsicott to be able to make sure that Xurkitree is not going to have to deal with the fact that it's actually not really that fast. Like, Tailwind Xurkitree can be faster than Regigigas, which I think is really nice, but it only has like 287 speed at level 100, so it's a little underwhelming actually. But Whimsicott Xurkitree is a pretty strong lead on this team, and you are a lot of the time going to want to lead Whimsicott with Xurkitree because it is at an awkward speed tier. Unless you are like almost positive you're going to be the fastest, then it doesn't really matter, right? No fake outs on this team, so maybe that's something to think about, but I think it's fine. We have Protect to avoid some fake outs of our own, and we've got a Ghost Pokemon. Dragapult is, able to be offensive and supportive, which is nice because it has Breaking Swipes and Surf to activate the Weakness Policy, Phantom Force, and Fly to be able to dodge moves and also to deal certain Dynamax pressure if we really feel like we need to Dynamax Dragapult. Common leads are definitely going to be like Whimsicott Xurkitree, Dragapult Rotom, Urshifu Rotom, Whimsicott Rotom, Whimsicott P2, like Urshifu P2. There's quite a bit of things, so let's think about what is able to switch in for each other in really crucial situations. Urshifu is bad against Electric, which we have Rotom and Xurkitree to switch in for. It's bad against Psychic, which I guess your best switch in might be like Rotom or P2 for that. Whimsicott's bad against Steel, which you've got Rotom to switch in for that. Dragapult's bad against Ghost, which we've got P2 to switch in. For a Dark, we've got maybe Urshifu or like Whimsicott's going to be your best switch in. And you can also switch in Whimsicott to a Dragon move if you really think you're going to be seeing that. So this team's got some interplay, and it has fast and slow modes, and the ability to like halfway through the game turn on Trick Room, turn it back off, and like do some pretty crazy things. So I actually do think this team feels very well rounded, and it's maybe one of my favorite teams for this season, or maybe the one that's just the best in general. We didn't in this video get a chance to demonstrate the sweeping power of Xurkitree because I didn't film 2 matches before this, but in those videos that I didn't film, I was able to, my opponent tried to do like set up their Kingdra, and I just like one-shot whatever they started with. They sent out Kingdra Politoed. I one-shot the Kingdra with Max Starfall. Like, you gotta look out for Xurkitree. And so, I didn't film that, but let's see. We're gonna see some absolutely wild stuff in these matches. I forgot to put a QOTD on the screen. So my first opponent has double Genies, Umbreon, Glastrier, Charizard, and Rillaboom. I am post-commentating these because I played these late at night, and it just was that time. So I think I started Whimsicott Xurkitree hoping I would be able to set up Xurkitree, and it just didn't feel that solid, right? Because they start Tornlando, which is definitely something for me to be careful about. And it's really because, like they could just Dynamax Landorus right away, and that would definitely be a threat. I also forgot to put weakness policy back on my Rotom. So this Rotom has Absorb Bulb. It didn't really matter that much, I suppose. We get the attack boost. I don't know why I chose to use Fake Tears on Tornadus, but I think the one thing it did was make them feel a little bit safer about Dynamaxing Landorus, which Landorus is a really bad Dynamax right now. And if I wanted to pretty much like ensure this game really quickly, which I have a habit of like making games last longer than they need to by clicking the wrong move, I suppose. So what I should have done, instead of using Tailwind this turn, I should have used Fake Tears on Landorus and Max Hailstorm, right? But I just used Max Hailstorm, and it's honestly not enough. Like, I would like it to, I really would. Even with being 4 times super effective, you just kind of, it's, we'll see. I can run the numbers in my head, kind of, like, even though people run variations, I almost always know when something is not gonna knock out. Alright, Swagger Lumberry coming at ya. And they hit the P2, meaning that I 100% could have Fake Tears the Lando. But this team almost definitely needs, like, Sash Whimsicott. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just know that it's not gonna be enough. So what did I do? I think what I do is max Hailstorm the Tornadus and Dazzling Gleam, or no. So that turn, I'm gonna pause it for a sec. That turn was so stressful to me that I forgot to film it because I'm doing the post recording. So I protected P2 and tried to use Dazzling Gleam, I think, and they just disrespected P2 and double targeted it and took it out. So, oh, the disrespect. I think they were expecting, maybe they were expecting Tornadus to pick up the knockout, because I think like Tornadus moved first, didn't get the knockout on Whim, and then Landorus attacked Whim. I was like, really? I was like, you really avoided my P2 and doubled up the boy. Fortunately, P2 is a straight 10. Survives both of those moves from Landorus and Tornadus, and we're gonna get this. Blastrier and Umbreon. Oh, right. I was really worried about the Umbreon. That's why I started Xurkitree, because Xurkitree, the Umbreon, you just set up the Psychic Train or the Misty or the Misty Train or the Electric Train. But if they started Umbreon Blastrier, that would have been pretty scary. So we use Recover over here. P2 is faster than Umbreon. That's huge. But they use Yawn. Maybe they were expecting me to go down to a chip damage, and they close combat Rotom. So they were definitely expecting me to go down to the chip damage, and they disrespected P2 and they had to pay for it. They were like, it's fine, you can just keep your P2. And we've got Zerk in the back with a big old Dazzling Gleam. With a big old giraffe. I needed that crit on Blastrier. So we get the Beast Boost, which is definitely going to ensure that we pick up the knockout next turn. They do have Yawn. A lot of people don't run Protect on Umbreon, however. So Umbreon's pretty much, you know, back to where it was before I used Tri-Attack, which they really can't get out of this that much. Like, they probably have Moonlight, but it'd be a stall battle. Yeah, so. So, you know, we adjusted. We didn't play perfect, but we still pulled through because P2 is a tank. And that's what matters. Okay, oh god. Oh, this game, my opponent has... Let me pause it. My opponent has Blastoise, Raichu, Alolan Exeggutor, Shuckle, Contrary Boy, you know it, it's topsy-turvy, and Araquanid, I'll think of it, it's Malamar, and Araquanid. So this team was really scary. I forgot that Shuckle also gets Contrary, which is, you know, definitely interesting, right? And I was a little bit afraid of them setting up Blastoise, and I was really afraid of them switching in Raichu and having Lightning Rod too, so I had to really play around that. I think I still led Whimsirk, because Whimsirk actually is a really good lead on this team, and, you know, we have ways to adjust if it doesn't work. So, here it comes. Malamar, Shuckle. So, here is basically what happened right now. First off, I was afraid of them switching in Lightning Rod, so I can't use Max Lightning right. Second off, I forgot that Shuckle gets Contrary. So I was like, yeah, just like fake Tears the Shuckle and use Max, you know. And looks like it stressed me out so much that I didn't film it. Because, so here's what happened. I got a crit with Xurkitree on Shuckle, and then they just used Power Slop. And now, they're Dynamaxed. Oh, it's scary. That'll play Malamar, okay. Ah, that did not. That, like, it did literally nothing to Shuckle. And Shuckle just straight one-shot my boy. We've got... Oh, God. And then they use Ally Switch. Max Quake. They Max Quake Urshifu. I do not think I agree with that, but you're fine to do that. I took a gamble and I Max Lightninged the... What's it called slot? Yeah, the Malamar. Max Lightning does a fair share to Shuckle, actually. You know, it didn't do nothing, and it's definitely something to consider. Surging Strikes does surprisingly, like, well, it's a 2-shot. I mean, it's not bad. So you get into a mind game now of, are they going to ally switch again? And a good rule of thumb is to not call it twice in a row, or to not expect them to use it twice in a row. They could, and it would be really annoying, but I'm going to Aqua Jet the Shuckle slot. So Aqua Jet's going to help us a lot here, and they don't. Nice. Okay. We got rid of the Shuckle. Don't freak out. We got rid of the Shuckle. Oh, and Malamar used Trick Room turn 1. So turn 1, they used Power Swap with Shuckle and Trick Room. If I'm correct. Yeah, right, yeah, no, I remember. I played this really well. So now that we got rid of their front lead, we're not really worried about their back lead. They frisk me. They could have Shell Smash, but they also probably have Water Spout. So I could very well just Ice Beam the Hammerhead Boy, but I didn't want to let them use Shell Smash, and then after Trick Room, they're like really fast and they just use Water Spout, right? So I'm gonna protect Xurkitree and use Tri-Attack. And no matter what, P2 hopefully should be able to tank this one out. I do apologize that, some of these games are so crazy that I don't film perfect. We do make a good protect right there. That does a considerable amount, and they do use Water Spout. So that's going to be pretty much a game winning. Because we have Dazzling Gleam, and Alolan Exeggutor just doesn't actually really have a move that can answer P2 right now. So they're free to protect Xurkitree, but protect Blastoise, but I'm going to Thunderbolt Ice Beam, and it's just like, no matter what, I think I win this. It's a cool team, though. It's a really cool team. Very threatening. And I beat the Shuckle. Okay. I beat the Dynamaxed Shuckle. And we are Dynamaxing Xurkitree in the Xurkitree video. Ooh. Very interesting. Life Orb. My dude's out here with a Life Orb, Alolan Exeggutor. Crazy stuff. Oh, sorry. I took these pictures for a thumbnail, so ignore that. Next up, my opponent has a Tornadus, Melodic, Dusclops, Cresselia, Heatran, and Ice Hue. So I'm thinking to myself, like, are they really do they have a weakness policy, Cresselia? Like, because I know this trick, and I am definitely a little shooketh. I think if we use Fake Tears on the Crest turn 1, we'll be in a pretty good position. and, you know, that should be fine, hopefully. That's torn. So, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, like, they're literally about to use Brutal Swing and Dynamaxed. You know what I mean? They very well could. Because if I was myself using Weakness Policy Cresselia, which I don't know if they have it, okay, you know, we don't know. But that's what I would do. I actually do think Life Orb Cresselia could be just as viable, if I'm being honest. So here it comes. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. So I made a slightly, like, maybe you could call it a not perfect play. Yeah, I protected Xurkitree and used Tailwind. They use Substitute, and yeah, and then they just maxed Hailstone, right? That was not Sash Whimsicott. It just happened to live at 1, and then it took the hail damage. So my only bet right now is to bring out P2. We do get the special attack download boost. That's pretty much all I could ask for at this point. I'm kind of suffering because I didn't use Fake Tears on Cresselia, so I'm gonna have 2 Dynamaxed Xurkitree still to try to, like, make it last longer, and P2 can survive pretty well, so hopefully that's it. I could have done more. With Fake Tears, that would have done a good bit. So I think first turn I should have Protect Whimsicott, Max Lightning, and then the next turn I Fake Tears, Max Lightning. Okay, so the P2 Xurk combo on a high roll might actually be able to take out Cresselia before it gets the chance to do anything else. So we have that going for us. Their Tornadus hasn't used Tailwind yet though, has it? I mean, we have Tailwind too, so they'll be faster than P2, and we get a crit. Yeah. So, if anything, all that really does is pick up for my slack on making a bad turn 1, because I could have already been in this position, but I made a bad turn. If anything, I could have been in an even better position than this, with Xurkitree possibly not even having taken damage, but you know, we're probably fine. Like, Tornadus definitely cannot take out Xurkitree from this much with Air Slash. I mean, Hurricane could be a little scary. So I'm gonna Max Lightning the Zerk really because Urshifu doesn't like, or sorry, I'm gonna Max Lightning the Tornadus because Urshifu doesn't like Tornadus. But they used substitutes. And what did I use? If I'm correct, I used Recover, which really doesn't get me anywhere right now. It would have been kind of my thing. But I definitely was not expecting them to use Substitute again. I just like completely forgot. I'm like, oh, right, Substitute Tornadus. The Tailwind peters out. And their Tailwind, however, goes for how many more turns? 2. Which means right now, I can protect Urshifu and use Trick Room. It doesn't seem like they're trying to stop me from doing anything with P2, so like, they could taunt this turn and that would kind of be bad for me. But they've kind of just been being, you know, aggressive and then using like Tailwind and Air Slash and Substitute, right? And Heat Wave. Okay, so yeah, they don't have taunt. Nice. Okay, so I'm the first now. Me first. I go first, not you. So we Surging Strikes the Heatran and we Ice Beam the Torn. You see what I'm saying though, with the benefit of having P2 to mess with the Trick Room? Like, I just use Trick Room just because my opponent's Tailwind is gonna last 2 turns. I could have doubled up. Why? But they're just being annoying at this point. Like, I don't think it's gonna let them use Substitute one more time. I think you have to have 25% of your health left. So this should be fun. And now, I think I'm gonna do something even more annoying. No, okay, that's pretty safe at this point, right? Like, you just Ice Beam Surging Strikes, because it's still Trick Room, right? Or did I... Yeah, it's still Trick Room. And Ice Q with its face broken is really fast. So, yeah, that's good. With a Salak Berry. Does it get Salak Berry when it gets critical hit, or what? What activates Salak Berry? When it's in a pinch? I think it's when it's in a pinch. So Heatran is the only one left who fortunately can't really do much to Urshifu. However, if we really want to ensure that we're going to win this, we protect Urshifu and we reverse the Trick Room. So this team is doing stuff, you know, like we're doing stuff. We just faced down a Dynamaxed Cresselia. Not my Cresselia. We did get a crit. But I could have played better. We're still winning. Yeah, so this is gonna seal. Because they probably have Shuckle, right? Alright, for the next one, I will be commentating live. But that's just the point that we're at right now. Okay. What do I want? I'm gonna say P2 Wim might be my best lead here. With Dragapult and, well, Dragapult's not good against Comfey, but it's probably like gonna be one of my best things here. Urshifu Water is actually pretty good against their team, so maybe I take Dragapult out for Urshifu. So what I'm doing here is really just, I kind of think that Urshifu might be my best Dynamaxed against this team. They do start, you know, the people that I guess I expect them to start. So they should want to fake out. Ooh, it looks kind of clippy. So, like, I just go, my apologies for how clippy it looks. But it's a really good game. Guess I should have left it at 40 frames per second. Stop disrespecting me. So much disrespect. Oh my god. And I don't even have Sash, so bye-bye. Barry? Yep. Okay, so this is gonna get a little bit rough, but I think having Xurkitree is gonna save us. The fact that I didn't use Tailwind is the one thing that's working against me right now. Because if I had used Tailwind on turn 1, I think this would just be over. They might use Quash Parting Shot. So they give me the Sash, they take my Orb, that's honestly fine. his Surging Strikes should still pick up the Landorus, or the Instant. Bro! Oh, man. I hate Incineroar. So, what should they... do they have Landorus? They have Gigalith. That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a massive problem. And how do I deal with that massive problem? I think the way I deal with it is by just taking out Comfey this turn and using... Surging Strikes. What can I really do? Because they're gonna weakness policy proc, right? Oh, yeah, yeah. No, what I should have done, yeah, thanks for stopping by. What I should have done is I should have used Fly and Max Ooze, but I don't think I would have been in a much better position. My Xurkitree's about to get one shot. Wait, I have Sash. No, but then they put up the weather. No. No. So we got rid of the Comfey. That's moderately important, right? Like, the fact that they lagging-tailed my Urshifu is so bad. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, you've gotten the best of me the last 2 times. Did I face you last time when you won? I don't think I did, actually. Like when you won the whole tournament, but you did, you definitely won that one, so. Recover with P2. And should I use Surging Strikes, or I'm expecting them to fake out, I'm expecting them to fake out P2, which is why I still want to go for Surging Strikes, but if they fake out Instant, then I should detect. Okay, good. But then if they target, please target P2. Yeah, so I'm just taking a break from the country tour right now, honestly, because I mean I was playing okay. I had a 3-win streak going, which I think is kind of fun. You know, fun and something nice. So I'm putting my opponent in a pretty rough position, which is nice. Actually, it's not that rough a position. I think I'm gonna lose. Because I recover P2 and use Surging Strikes. That's literally the only thing I can do. And if they target P2, then I probably lose. If they target... Wait, I'm faster. Okay, never mind. Woo! But they do make the right play that turn. I should have detected and recovered. I didn't think that was a bad play. So now I'm in a really bad position here. Unless I have an attack, a special attack boost. I don't have any sort of boost. Why don't I have a boost? Where's my boost? Give me the boots. And freeze them, for the love of God. Okay. Well, I mean, like, you can quit if you really feel like it. So let's think about this. Why did they just quit? If Rock Slide is their best move, Rock Slide is actually going to be kind of underwhelming. I don't know if Rock Slide can do half of Porygon 2's health. And in that case, I just click recover the next turn, try to Ice Beam again, like recover, Ice Beam, and I can pretty much stall the game. So, like, yeah, I could have won that on the timer if I really needed to. So, cool. That was